Let's talk about that Twitch TOS, baby. Another big write-up we're not going to be able to read everything out of here because it's just a very considerable write-up from Nathan Grayson at Kotaku. I recommend going and looking it up, but there's been a crackdown from Twitch on what they deem to be quote-unquote sexual content, and what they've been doing is either suspending streamers outright or giving them a warning and putting them on a probationary putting them on probation, basically. And the controversy kind of came to a head when a Twitch streamer named, and I'm sorry, I'm going to fuck the name up probably, Kuko was banned for wearing a Chun-Li costume on stream. And Twitch deemed her stuff sexually suggestive and then ended up banning her. They also... let's see. There were some again, I'm fucking these names up, and I feel bad for fucking these names up. But Faria, the Overwatch streamer, I guess was doing a workout stream, was wearing a sports bra and some baggy shorts at the gym, and got a warning for sexual content, and was placed on a 90-day probation. And then I'm just going to read this paragraph. Lastly, and most strangely, the weekend also saw Twitch take aim at SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom streamer Shift's emote of SpongeBob ripping his pants, a reference to a classic episode of the long-running Nickelodeon series in which SpongeBob gets a laugh by accidentally ripping his pants, and then does it repeatedly until the joke loses its luster. This, too, was sexual in Twitch's eyes, and the emote was disallowed. He goes on to talk about what may be possibly leading to these warnings and these bans and these actions being taken against the accounts. And he points to a group of individuals who are kind of mass reporting these channels. Like, they're organizing themselves and mass reporting these channels for sexual content, to the point where Twitch, has to take action against them. And I don't want to give too much air to any of that shit. You can go read about it if you want to. And I don't really even want to touch on the specifics of any of these instances, because I just, again, I don't know how much oxygen it deserves. But what I want to constantly come back to anytime we're talking about this shit with Twitch just kind of like willy-nilly, indiscriminately, without any rhyme or reason, handing out actions against certain accounts while not taking actions against others, is that as long as Twitch continues to have these controversies where their terms of service are not very clear, the actions that they take against different accounts are being based off of, internal engagement metrics, how much money those channels are bringing in, it is going to be very, very difficult for Twitch to continue to grow as a legitimate platform. And I don't want to beat this horse too dead, because we've talked about it so much on PvA radio, but it becomes harder and harder for someone like me to continue to leverage Twitch as a platform when there just seems to be no fucking professionalism with the way that they handle themselves and the way that they take action against these accounts. Lair Hunt Zombie says, I can understand some of this to a degree, but it's hard to stomach it when Tfue can drop the N-word with no repercussions. Now, look, I get it. If Twitch wants to go through and clean up the way that people dress on their platform, and they want to, that's fine. Like, Twitch is privately owned. People, we use this service for free. Like, Twitch has everything within their power to set guidelines. What I want to see is actual guidelines. Like, people joked Mixer when it came out that like they had these really specific and strict kind of dress codes for how you can dress if you want to remain in certain categories, because they do ratings like, hey, everybody, this is family friendly. This is for teens. These are mature 18 plus streams. And they have very clear guidelines, like laid out about how much skin can be shown, what kinds of clothes can be worn. And a lot of people looked at Mixer and was like, oh man, look at those fucking archaic rules, like yada, yada, yada. It's more archaic to have some sort of like blob, undefined rule set that you kind of take on a case-by-case basis, and streamers have to worry themselves, am I doing something that may be against terms of service, even if it's something that I've been doing for months already? Like, if Twitch really wants to crack down on this stuff, that's fine, but they need to release something and say like, hey, moving forward, this is the code for people who stream on Twitch. If you are seen wearing this, this, and this, and you are reported, we are going to take action against your account. But this whole just like, and the SpongeBob shit just makes absolutely no fucking sense to me at all. Like, I can't make any sense of that. If to you, look, I understand Rule 34 or whatever, like, but if SpongeBob ripping his pants is the thing that does it for you to the point where Twitch feels like they have to take action against that account, what world are we in? What world are we in? But I think moving forward, and look, this is not just for dress code or whatever they deem sexually suggestive. This is for everything with Twitch. When it comes to language, like Larry refers to in the chat here with Tfue dropping the N-word and nothing being done against his account, like there needs to be clear defined guidelines that not only exist, but that Twitch actually follows, because they have things in their guidelines about hate speech, those sorts of things. They need to set the guidelines, communicate the guidelines, and enforce the guidelines in the ways that they are communicated. Like, don't leave this shit up to chance. Legitimize yourself, Twitch, by taking this sort of stuff more seriously. Because the more you grow, the more this stuff is going to fall into the spotlight. And it's just terrible optics, man. Like, it is good PR on your part to be transparent about your terms of service and the actions that you're going to take. Like, that's just good business. Because as we get more mixers and other viable options that people can jump to and do their shows on, live stream too, if more shit like this comes out where it's like, man, I just don't know day to day what Twitch is thinking in terms of what they allow and don't allow, they're going to move to platforms that have those things clearly defined, even if it's more restrictive to their content. Because it's a known quantity. If this is your business, if this is your livelihood, you want to know that I'm going to be able to hit the go live button with whatever set of rules is in place and know that the earth is not just going to suddenly shift under my feet. Be left to the whim of just whoever received the report.